Hello YouTube and welcome to another review, and this time I have briefly shown this set before, but this is a more in-depth review, not massively in-depth, obviously should run for about 5 minutes, but this is the 92nd Highlanders, or Gordon Highlanders as you probably know them better, and featuring a French Cuirassier. This is a two-piece set. Obviously you get the mounted Cuirassier and you get the British infantryman of the 92nd in one box, and the box obviously is just highlighted in the back there. I thought I'd just sneak that in so that you know what the box looked like. And this is the older series of the Napoleonics, which ran before. There's a current run out now where the quality is of quite a high standard, but these were around about 2000, and to be honest they're very good. Detail is very good, especially on the 92nd Highlander. They've really picked out his tartan. It's the correct tartan for the 92nd of the Gordon Highlanders, even to the point of his headgear has the green squares inside as well, if you can see that. And I mean, to be honest, it's a very good sculpt. I'm probably being overly critical here. The problem I would say with this figure is it's a kind of half-hearted attempt to dehorse the Cuirassier, and I'd say that was the only fault I could really see with it. I think the quality is very good. You can probably just see his buttons and the lace surrounding the buttonholes. You can see his kilt there, which is totally accurate to what the 92nd would have worn. His yellow collar, obviously, long series musket. I mean, you know, he's very good. And it was at a time when the quality was hit and miss. You know, the 2000 period, they were trying to get it better, and then sometimes you get a great sculpt and then the painting would just be completely rubbish. But not with this guy. They've done quite a good fist of him. I mean, even now in the newer range, Waterloo series for Britons, the quality is even better than this one, but I have to say this is by far satisfactory, if not better. It's near enough excellent. I mean, they've put good washers on the bag, on his water bottle. There's some really nice washers on there, so they've spent a bit of time on this one. And you can just see his little bayonet sheath sticking through. And there, of course, is his weapons pouch. That would probably, little thing here, that would probably have a badge on it. I won't dwell too much on that. It looks a bit small if I was seeing anything at all. However, I do think it's a very good figure. Let's just check the base. I like the base as well. He's got his muddy boots. Quality of the base is good. It's a nice colour. Some of the bases on some of the Britain, especially the American Revolution range early on, were a bit rubbish, but they've spent a bit of time on this one. I suppose I could look up his kilt. Anyone want to look up his kilt? There you go. So at least it's not flat. They could have just made that flat inside there, but it has actually got a recess in there, so you can actually get it's not moulded to his skin, which is quite common. Yeah, do actually quite like him. Just like I say, the pose is just slightly out, and maybe this arm looks slightly long and awkward, but that would be all I could say about this guy. I do actually like him. Moving on, so the 92nd Highlanders, we all know they got battered to hell. They formed square, and the Cuirassiers. Now, this is the Cuirassier. Now, quality-wise, he's not stunning, but he's rather nice, and I do actually quite like him. Lots of detail on the back. You can see here There's his little pouch on his ammo pouch, because obviously they do come with rifles. I believe they do anyway. Cuirassiers, yes, there it is. So he's got his rifle here. Obviously he's a cavalry regiment, so the rifles are always shorter for those guys. Called Cuirassier mainly, I believe, because of this breastplate, which is obviously two sections held together with leather strapping. And these guys were kind of, when, especially British regiments, I can't be too sure on the European regiments, I'm presuming they did it as well, but when form squares were done, obviously cavalry can't get in. The job of the Cuirassier was to ride around and take a battering. Obviously they're being fired at and things, and this was to act, the breastplate was to act as a bit of protection, was really to ride around, find a gap, and then exploit that gap and chase in. I can't tell you how many successes they had that, I don't know, I'd have to check the history book. But obviously it was something they felt was going to work, because I think Napoleon then brought in 2 more regiments of these guys. So, but they do look rather smart. I think as well as quite a poignant, is it the Museum de l'Armée in Paris that I went to, and I think we saw the breastplate with the cannonball through it, which was rather unfortunate for the guy who was in it. But I think that was at the Museum de l'Armée. I could be wrong. But that's a great museum to go to in Paris as well. I've never seen so much in the way of muskets, and I mean, it was never ending, wall-to-wall stuff. So if you're an enthusiast, you've probably already been there, so there's no need. But if you haven't, it's well worth going. Detail wise, for some reason I've always preferred the back of this figure, mainly because I think there's quite a lot going on at the back. It's got his nice strapping here around his equipment, and like I say, you can just see his badge here, his tunic here, just quite nice. You're not talking as good a quality as the recent Britain stuff for Waterloo, but he's not bad. I mean, he's got quite a traditional toy soldier face on him, really, with his little moustache. The eyes on the horse are quite good. If you look at that horse's head sculpt, it's rather nice. I do quite like the horse sculpt is pretty good. And like I say, I just feel at times the painting let these figures down. It's just, you know, it just needs someone to spend just a few minutes more. I'd say probably 20 minutes more, and you would have a real quality figure. But having said that, it looks good. It's nicely weighted. That isn't going to fall over in any amount of hurry. The base is nice. Quite literally depicting the ground is quite muddy, which it would have been, and lots of hoof prints on the base as well. And if I turn him over just carefully, there you go, 2001 and made in China, obviously. Quite a nice pose he's in. He's just sort of sitting up in the saddle, ready to strike. You can just see his bum is lifted off there. Not totally convincing pose wise, but it's not bad. It's quite a good effort. There is a 1 on here, so whether that represents the first Cuirassier, I don't know. I'm not an expert on Cuirassiers totally. I just know the basics. So headgear wise, I mean, like I say, not just paint wise, really. I would say they've done just enough to keep you happy, just enough. But all in all, it's a very nice set, and I think I got this for about £28, so I was very happy about that. Gordon Highlanders, quite a famous regiment. I think my great uncle served in the Gordon Highlanders, but he was attached to the commandos in North Africa. He died over there, but very famous regiment, and of course I believe they're merged as well now with the Royal Regiment of Scotland. So you know, it's a shame with these local regiments like the King's Own Scottish Borderers, or the, you know, all these, they've all been amalgamated now. and some people say that the thread that bound all these communities together, we've lost that, especially with the military, by just amalgamating everything. But such is life, and that's the way it goes. But gone but not forgotten, and that's always going to be the case. But anyway, I like this set very much, and nice box. As you can see there's old Napoleon on his on the box front, so very nice set. So if you see it, snap it up, I would say. And thanks for listening, and we'll catch you later. Bye.